Oh, okay. Can you guys hear me? All right, Linda still is typing. Okay, perfect. All right, well, I can't see you, but good morning, Buenos Aires. My name is Austin Gutwein, and really I was just asked to take a few minutes and share with you a little bit about me and my story, and really just to encourage you this morning. You know, I've had the chance to travel to quite a few Gen conferences, and really one thing that I've always picked up from the Gen conferences is that you are some of the best and brightest people, best and brightest students that this world has to offer. And so really today I want to share with you a little bit about my story, and I want to encourage you to really begin your story and your journey. For me, my story began when I was 9 years old. I saw this video talking about a little girl over in Africa who had lost her parents due to HIV/AIDS. And I just decided that I wanted to do something to help. I was passionate about what was going on in Africa. I realized that I couldn't just sit by idly, that I needed to do something. And so what I did is I began a free throw marathon to raise money for AIDS orphans over in Africa. And I began just by simply going to my school gym and shooting free throws, asking people to donate towards me. No idea what that was. I'm using somebody else's cell phone because our internet is down to ping Wi-Fi. It's really confusing, but it's a cool ringtone. Anyway, so I just started a free throw marathon to help raise money for AIDS orphans. And what happened next is really what is tested to do something about it. They stepped up and decided there we go. You know, Skype is a beautiful thing because I get to talk with you guys all the way down in Buenos Aires, but it doesn't always work perfectly, and that is totally fine. Really, I want to just take a few minutes and encourage you. I had the chance to go out to Jakarta this past February and talk to a Gen conference out there, and along the way, I really began to do a lot of research about us, about our generation, and about really us doing something about the problems that we see. Because a lot of times we go to these Gen conferences and we hear a lot about the problems. But I was wondering, well, what's kind of the rate of return? What happens when we leave? And what I found out is that in a 100-person room, when you talk about a problem, the chances are that one person is going to do something about that. I remember when I first heard that, it kind of blew me away because I thought, well, I feel like our generation, there should be more than one person out of 100 that actually want to do something about the problem that they hear. but that's what the fact is. And so kind of my question for you today is, what are you going to do? What are you going to do about the problems that you hear? Because the incredible thing about being where you are sitting in that seat that you're sitting in right now today is that you can do something. Is that you really do have the world at your fingertips, that you can go out there and make a difference. And all it takes is taking that first step. That first step is always the scariest. But I really truly believe that you can make an incredible difference in this world today if you just take that first step. If you just decide, like I did, all I had to do was take that first step and walk to my school gym and begin shooting free throws. It was a crazy hard first step, I can promise you. It's absolutely rewarding. So that's my encouragement today. I know Skype is crazy, and you might not be able to hear me perfectly, but I just wanted to encourage you to take that first step today. Don't walk away from this J conference and hear about lots of problems in this world. Walk away and do something about the problems that you hear in this world. Anyway, my name is Austin. I'd love to take your questions. If I can, that'd be great. We can't see you, but we can hear you. Okay. So I'm just like this weird floating voice floating throughout the room. That's awesome.
How do you think we as the youth can help you on your project?
Really, with my project, with Groups of Hope, I think that the biggest help is just support. If you're interested in making a difference in any way, Groups of Hope is a great tool to fundraise. It's just like a walkathon, except for we're shooting free throws instead. And that's really why it started, is I didn't want to do a walkathon. I thought walking was kind of boring, so I wanted to shoot baskets instead. So if you're interested in helping out, I would say just going onto our website, it's hoopsofhope.org, and we'd love for you to do an event with us. We'd love for you to shoot hoops. It's really a great opportunity.
How do you raise money by shooting hoops?
How do you raise money by shooting hoops? That's a great question. Really what we do is we normally just go out to people and kind of tell them, we go to your friends, your parents, your grandparents, and tell them that you're doing a marathon to raise money and you're asking for a donation. We're doing a marathon to help raise money for orphan kids, and 100% of everything we raise is going to them. And that's really what opens the door for people donating to you.
My name is Javier Ogo, and my question is, what advice would you give to social entrepreneurs out there who want to start their own fundraiser?
What advice would you give to social entrepreneurs who want to start their own business out there? Honestly, the truth is, I think now is the best time to be an entrepreneur, to really go out there and start your own business. I think now more than ever, our world and our markets are kind of shaped that way. So if you're interested in doing that, my best advice would be to stick with it. I know lots of people my age who who are entrepreneurs who want to go out there and do something. And they really start their business, they start their idea, but they don't realize it's a marathon, it's not a sprint. So if you want to do something like that, I'd encourage you to stick with it because your idea is absolutely worth it. And we absolutely want your idea in this world. But sometimes you have to stick through a few years of nobody really knowing about your idea before it gets big. So my advice is to absolutely stick with it. Don't just start something, but continue on.
Everyone, if I could ask anyone who wants to ask a question to please move to the center aisle, it would make the question process go a lot faster. Thank you.
So you had this great idea for raising money. How did you establish a connection with the community in Zambia to do work with them?
So you have this great idea for raising money. How did you establish a connection with the people in Zambia to work with them? Really what happened is we connected with an organization called World Vision, and they actually have people on the ground there who are building those relationships and building those connections. And so originally we worked with World Vision, but now we've been over to Africa so many times that we were able to build those friendships ourselves. And so now we can work directly with the people of Zambia. It really is a huge blessing to have that opportunity.
So when you first had the idea of taking measures to solve this conflict after you watched the video, did you already expect that it was going to go so far? Or was it just, a small initiative to try to make a little bit of change in your community? Sure. So when you first decided to take action after you watched the video, did you expect it to go so far? Or did you think it was simply a small initiative in your community?
When you first had the idea of taking measures on the issue, did you expect it to go as far as you started? No, I really didn't know where it was going to go. I think that's one of the best things that you can do when you're starting off is not really have any expectations. Just to go for it, and to run it as fast, as hard as you can. But never really set these, I think a lot of times we set these crazy high, lofty goals for ourselves. I'm going to start an organization and, we're going to raise $2 million today. And that's a little high, it's a little lofty. So I would encourage you to not really have too many expectations, to just go for it, to just wake up and try and make a difference every single day in this world. And know that you are making a difference. If you're doing something, you're having an impact on this world.
How long ago did you start and how old are you now?
How long ago did you start and how old are you now? I started when I was 9 years old. And so the organization itself has been going on for about 10 years now, and I am 20.
Is it more important to start with individual passion for the needs of the community you want to affect?
Is it more important to start with individual passion or the needs of the community you want to affect? Wow, that's a really good question. I think that I think that those can be the same thing, if that makes sense. I think you can start out with your individual passion, and it can reflect the needs of the community. I would say, first and foremost, I would encourage you to be passionate about the community, if that makes sense. If you know, say for example that you want to help an orphanage in Argentina, and the orphanage they need blankets, but you really want to send them paintings. I would encourage you, if you're passionate about the orphanage, to send them blankets, if that makes sense. So definitely want to start with the needs of the community that you want to help, because ultimately I hope that community is what you're passionate about. But yeah, that's a fantastic question. Good
Do you
job.
believe that the problem with spreading the disease is the lack of prevention resources, or simply the lack of knowledge whereas due prevention?
Linda Sills is typing. Do you believe that the problem of spreading the disease is the lack of knowledge, or the lack of prevention, or the lack of resources? Honestly, I think the best example I can use would be Ebola, the way that it's kind of taking over Western Africa and different parts of the world right now. And in my personal opinion, I would say that a lot of it is the lack of knowledge, especially from the start. It's when you have people in communities where they're hungry, where they're in close contact with each other, disease can easily spread. And I think that what we fail to realize a lot of times is that the people in these communities where diseases start out, a lot of times they're not so much worried about the disease as they're worried about finding water, as they are worried about dying from starvation. And so I think sometimes we don't understand that those are the problems that are facing those people each and every day.
Did you at any points encounter either external or internal limitations in regards to your projects with your age?
Sit tight, you guys. We're getting it back. Don't worry.
Alright, hey guys, sorry about that. Alright, do we have any more questions? Miss Linda? Oh, okay. Did you at any point encounter either internal or external complications with your age? I think that I did. I think people honestly looked at me a little bit differently, but I never let it affect me. You know, that's what happens is just because you're young, people might look at you differently. It honestly is a bigger help than it is something that will hurt you in your journey. People look at you at your age and they will be encouraged and motivated to do something because of their age. And very rarely will people ever look down on you because you're young, because you are youth. A lot of times people will be motivated to help you because of your age. So if you are young and you're sitting there today, that does not mean that you have to wait. I think that's one of the biggest lies that people will try to tell you. They have to wait to make a difference. You have to wait to start your idea or your dream. That's absolutely not the case.
When you look back on everything that you've done, is there anything that you would change or no?
When you look back at everything you've done, is there anything that you would change? Honestly, there's not anything that I would change. It has been an incredible journey. I'm so thankful. Just to have had the chance to be a part of it. But no, there's not anything that I would change at all.
How did you turn like a small act of kindness into a big global foundation?
How did you turn a small act of kindness into a big global foundation? I think that's one of the biggest misconceptions about Who's the Focus. A lot of times people think that we started out with the intention of being a global foundation, but that's not the truth. We actually just started out and wanted to make a difference. We just wanted to do as much as we could, and then we realized because of just the the tax implications of being in the United States, that it was actually better to become a foundation. So that's actually how we became one, not because we had this big plan to take Who's the Hope around the world. We actually became a foundation just because of the taxes. So it sounds kind of funny, but the truth is, I don't think we should ever just start out with that intent or that focus. That we can simply start small and know that it will grow into something bigger.
Are there any more questions? Going once.
All right, thank you guys so much. I really appreciate the time and getting to come on. I hope I get to be in Argentina with you all next time. Thanks so much, guys.